2 Samuel chapter 3. There followed a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, in which David grew ever stronger and the house of Saul ever weaker. So sons born in Hebron. Sons were born to David in Hebron. Firstborn Amnon of Ahinoam from Jezreel. The second Chileab of Abigail, the wife of Nabal Carmel. The third Absalom, son of Maacah, who was the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth Adonijah, son of Haggith. Fifth Shephatiah, son of Abital. And sixth Ithream by David's wife Eglah. These were born to David in Hebron. Ishbaal and Abner quarrel. During the war between the house of Saul and the house of David, Abner was gaining power in the house of Saul. Now Saul had a concubine, Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbaal, son of Saul, said to Abner, "Why have you slept with my father's concubine?" Yeah. Enraged at the words of Ishbaal, Abner said, Am I a dog's head from Judah? As of today I have been loyal to the house of Saul your father and his brothers and his friends, and I have kept charge with the crime involving a woman. May God do thus to Abner and more if I do not carry out for David what the Lord swore to him. That is, take away the kingdom from the house of Saul and establish the throne of David over Israel as well as Judah. From Dan to Beersheba. Ishbaal was no longer able to say a word to Abner, and he feared him so. Abner and David reconciled. Then Abner sent messengers to David in Telam, where he was at the moment to say, Hey, you two. Running me over. Make a covenant with me, and you have me on your side, to bring all Israel over you. He replied, Good, I will make a covenant with you. But one thing I require of you, you must not appear before me unless you bring back Michal, Saul's daughter, when you come to present yourself to me. At the same time, David sent messengers to Ishbaal, son of Saul, saying, Give me my wife Michal, whom I betrothed and by paying 100 Philistines' foreskins. Ishbaal sent for her and took her from her husband Paltiel, son of Laish, who followed her weeping as far as Bahurim. But Abner said to him, Go back. So he turned back. Abner then had a word with the elders of Israel. For some time you have been wanting David as your king. Now take action, for the Lord has said to David, By David my servant, I will save my people Israel from the power of the Philistines and from the power of all their enemies. Abner also spoke with Benjamin, and then he went to speak with David in Hebron, concurring that all would be agreeable to Israel, and the whole house of Benjamin. When Abner, accompanied by 20 men, came to David in Hebron, David prepared a feast for Abner and for the men who were with him. Then Abner said to David, I will now go to assemble all Israel for my lord king, that they may make a covenant with you, and you will be a king over all who you wish to rule. So David let Abner go on his way in peace. Death of Abner. Just then, David's servant and Joab were coming from an expedition bringing much plunder by them. Abner, having been dismissed by David, was no longer with him in Hebron, but had gone his way in peace. When Joab, the whole force he had with him, arrived, he was informed. Abner, son of Ner, came to David and let him go in his way in peace. So Joab went to the king and said, What have you done? Abner came to you. Why did you let him get away? Don't you know Abner? He came to trick you, to learn your comings and goings, to learn everything you do. Joab then left David and sent messengers after Abner to bring him back from the cistern of Sarah. But David did not know When Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside within the city gate to speak to him privately. There, he stabbed him in the abdomen, and he died for the blood of Asahel, Joab's brother. Later David heard of it and said, "Before the Lord, I and my kingdom are forever innocent. May the blood of Abner, son of Ner, be on the head of Joab and his family. May Joab's family never be without one suffering from a discharge, or with a skin disease, or a man who holds the distaff, or one falling by the sword, or need of food." Joab and Abishai, his brother, have been lying in wait for Abner because he killed Asahel, their brother, in battle at Gibeon. David mourns Abner. Then David said to Joab and to all the people who were with him, "Tear your garments, put on sackcloth, and mourn over Abner." King David himself followed the bier. When they had buried Abner in Hebron, the king wept aloud at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept, and the king sang this lament over Abner. "Should Abner have died like a fool? Your hands were not bound with chains, nor your feet placed in fetters. As one falls before the wicked, you fell." And all the people continued to weep for him. And then they went to console David with food while it was still day. But David swore, "May God thus do this to me and more before the sun goes down. I eat bread or anything else." All of the people noted this with approval, that just as everything the king did met with their approval. So on that day, the people and all Israel came to know that the king was doing that Abner, son of Ner, was put to death. The king then said to his servants, "Do you know that the prince, a great man, has fallen today in Israel? Although I am the anointed king, I am weak this day, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too ruthless for me. May the Lord repay the evildoer in accordance with his evil deed."